oblivious. I didn't know what I was doing.
Mistakes, failure.
I have failed at Amazon FBA.
But ultimately, it was a failure, I would say.
But only the top 1% or 2% succeed.
But only the top 1% or 2% succeed.
Founder of the Seller Pro Academy, where we help ordinary people create extraordinary things, just one product at a time.
So you want to sell on Amazon, but you've heard that it's too saturated or only a few succeed. And you want that sweet, sweet passive income courtesy of Big JB. And all these videos online warn you about how easy it is to fail. However, what if I told you that failure on Amazon really just came down to a few elements? Because here's the thing, most failures on Amazon can be put into 3 boxes. And once you understand what's inside, that fear of failure turns into a motivation to succeed. In this video, I'll be explaining the 3 most influential failure points. I'll show you how to overcome them. And if you hang about until the end, I'll be giving every single person completely free access to one of my training programs so that you can succeed.
It takes many years to master the art of painting. But I think I can honestly say that this is the best painting I've ever done in my life.
So look, it doesn't matter how good your product is. There's 2 metrics that are heavily affected when you don't have good images, and that's click-through rate, or CTR, and conversion rate. Click-through rate is simply the amount of people that see your listing versus click on it, and conversion rate is simply the amount of people that click on your listing versus the amount of people that buy your product. And of course, you want these 2 numbers to be as high as possible. The higher they are, the more money you make. In fact, I've worked with many different brands and clients that wanted to increase their click-through rate, they wanted to make more sales, run advanced advertising, and what we actually had to do was take a step back and really work on their images before we could work on their advertising or work on increasing their sales, because they simply aren't ready to run more advertising because the images just aren't converting high enough. But the thing is that most people selling on Amazon, particularly beginners, really don't know how to create high converting product images. So to illustrate why photos are so incredibly important, I'm going to show you this sleight of hand trick, this pickpocket trick that came from a TED talk.
Let's do this simply. Squeeze your hand. Squeeze it tight. Do you feel the poker chip in your hand? I do. Would you be surprised if I could take it out of your hand? Say yes? Very. Good. Open your hand. Thank you very much. I'll cheat if you give me a chance. Make it harder for me. Just use your hand. Grab my wrist, but squeeze. Squeeze firm. Did you see it go? No. No, it's not here. Open your hand. See, while we're focused on the hand, it's sitting on your shoulder right now. Go ahead and take it off.
Now, is this really magic? Of course not. It's manipulation of focus and perception. And whilst the presenter is getting you to focus on what you want, they're doing the trick directly in front of you. And this manipulation of focus is similar to what we want to try and do with our images on Amazon. We want to focus the customer's eye on a particular part of the photo, a particular bit of text, a particular product photo, so that we can actually show them and communicate what we want to communicate to them. So first you have to understand how we operate online and how you can harness human nature to draw focus on exactly what you want to. All of this works because of something called the spotlight model of attention. And it sort of works like this. Imagine you're in a dark room and you have a small spotlight. Of course, you can only focus on anything that's being lit up, but there's many things in the room, but you can't see it because it's dark. And all this is saying is that you can only focus on what is lit up in the room with your spotlight. Generally speaking, we may have a lot of stimulus in front of us, but we only focus on a very small number of things. This exact same thing happens on Amazon. You have to remember that customers have a limited amount of attention that they are able to give your product. This is why you need to focus their attention. So here's 3 tips that you can use right now. So get a pen and paper at the ready. Tip number 1, the more you try and show a customer, the less they will see. Just like if you see this whole room behind me, but you're only really looking at me right now, even though there's a whole room of stimulus and the things that you could give your attention to, you're only giving me and my voice attention right now. Unless I was to point something out like the TV, in which case you would probably look over at the TV because I'm telling you to focus on it. So what you have to remember is the more that you try and show people, the less that they will see. So in reality, what this means is don't have 16 features on one image. Don't try and show all of the things your product does on one image. Instead, look at one feature and benefit per image. Tip number 2 is that humans love patterns. We absolutely love patterns. We love things in threes, like 3 wise men, stop, look, listen, sex, drugs, rock and roll. All those things are built upon patterns, and our brains are evolved to be able to pick up patterns very, very quickly. And we tend to be quite uneasy with chaos. So when you're creating your images, you need to stick to a theme, stick to a grid. If your logo is at the middle, at the bottom on 2 of your images, it has to be in the exact same place on all other 5 images. If you use a particular color palette, then make sure that all of your images align with that theme. When looking at typefaces, so fonts, have no more than 3, and bold and regular counts as 2, not 1. The more consistency that your images have, the easier it will be for a customer to be able to understand what you're trying to communicate. Tip number 3 is use images that communicate the exact feature you're trying to show. A great way to approach this is imagine that someone is looking at your photos on Amazon, but they don't speak English. So they're not able to read all of the text and the features and benefits. They can only go based off the images that you're providing. So what you can do when you're creating the images to test to see if this works is remove the text or just put some lorem ipsum in the space so you have a text placeholder. The reason why this is so important, as humans, we can compute what an image is immediately, where it takes us a bit longer to read text. Otherwise, you would be walking down the street and get hit by a bus because you didn't register that it was a bus. The human brain deciphers image immediately, where it takes a little bit longer to decipher text. And when people are scrolling through Amazon so incredibly quickly, just like people scroll through Tinder or Netflix, the same thing happens on your Amazon images. You want to be able to communicate that feature in the most efficient way possible, and the most efficient way is an image. So now we're going to be looking at advertising, and you might be thinking, how will I get customers to see my product? You might have never ran advertising before, or you might just think that PPC is hard because it's a lot of maths. So what tends to happen is you found a product, it's got a great profit margin. Let's just assume that you have good images. You go to launch your product on Amazon, you launch it, and then you think, do you know what? I'm going to start running PPC. You look at some tutorials online on YouTube and you think, okay, I've got this. I know how to create a campaign, and you go and create your advertising campaign. However, you quickly realize you don't know what to optimize, you don't know how often to optimize, and you really don't have a structure that's going to work for you. So quite often you'll give up and say that advertising doesn't work or advertising is too hard on Amazon. A lot of this comes down to the strategy that you're using. For example, I have a client where we do PPC consultancy, and they came to us and they were doing about £10,000 per month on Amazon. They had no strategy, but they were running advertising. All we did was give them a strategy and tell them exactly what they should be optimizing and when, and within 30 days they took their sales from 25 per day to over 80 per day, which took them over the £1,000 per day mark, bringing them to 25, £30,000 months. Literally tripling the size of their business within 30 days, all because they had a strategy to follow. Here's the thing, most sellers have no idea how to run advertising on Amazon. You know how to turn it on, but you have no idea how to actually make it profitable and how to scale it. Here's the thing, Amazon will happily continue to take your money even if you're running unprofitably, but what happens with beginners is they tend to get uneasy with that and think, well, if I don't continue to run advertising, my organic sales are going to dry up. So how do you overcome this? The first thing you need to do is actually understand how PPC works. Now, you may know how to do this, but just humor me on this for a second. Advertising on Amazon sort of works like bidding on eBay, but instead of bidding for a painting or a guitar or a photo, you're bidding on how much you're willing to pay for a customer to click your listing. And just like eBay, everyone puts their bid in, and then Amazon is going to see who's first, who's second, who's third, who's fourth, and then it goes on and on and on. And simply once Amazon know who has the top bid, who has the second and third and fourth, they show those sellers' products in that order to customers. So at the top you have the first, next to it you'll have the second, next to it you have the third, and maybe later down the page you'll have the fourth, fifth and sixth. And that's how bidding works. And then you only pay Amazon once a customer clicks on your advert. So you're not paying to be there, you're paying to be there and get a click. If you don't get a click, then you're not going to be paying Amazon. So of course, if we link back to the first section, that's why your click-through rate and your images have to be as good as possible, because you want as many people to click on your listing as humanly possible. We know that the more people that click, the more people will buy, so we want to try and get more people to click. So that was step 1 of advertising. Step 2 is understanding something called your break-even bid. The break-even bid tells you how much you can bid on a keyword so that it will be profitable for you. Just like if you were reselling things that you bought on eBay, you would want to know what you could sell them for so you could make a profit. You obviously wouldn't buy something on eBay for more than that you could sell it for. Equally on Amazon, you don't want to bid more for a keyword than is profitable for you. So you have to understand your break-even bid. What is the figure that allows you to break even? Fortunately, it's actually very easy to work this out. There's 2 figures that you need. First is your profit margin in pounds or dollars, so the actual intrinsic value of that. So let's just say that's £5 for the sake of this example. You then need to know your conversion rate. So how many people click on your listing versus how many people buy your product. This is officially known as unit session percentage on your Amazon reports. So all you do is you multiply those 2 numbers together. So let's say that it's £5 and your conversion rate is 20%. So 20% of the people that click on your listing buy your product, which is quite a high conversion rate. All you do is do 5 multiplied by 20%, which equals £1. Now, if you don't have this data, you don't know your conversion rate, you're new to Amazon, put this at 10% because it's unlikely that you're going to get 20% conversion rate from the offset. In which case, if you rework out those numbers, £5 at a 10% conversion rate, then it's going to be 50 pence. So if you had a 10% conversion rate and a £5 profit margin, you know that you can bid up to 50 pence. And as long as that bid comes in under 50 pence, you're most likely going to be profitable on that particular keyword. And of course, just like eBay, just because you put in your maximum bid doesn't mean that the item's going to sell for that maximum amount. If your break-even bid is £1, of course, the auction on Amazon could end at 67 pence. And this is how you profit from PPC on Amazon. Because once you know these figures, it's just a case of how many people can you get to see your listing, see your advert, because you know your click-through rate, you know your conversion rate, and you know your break-even bid. The third step is to have a strategy. All of this means nothing if you don't know what to do and when to do it. Because without a strategy, you'll almost certainly lose money and think that PPC doesn't work. With a strategy, you'll know exactly what to expect, when to optimize, and you'll have a really good overview of how you can scale your business using advertising and understand where your money is best spent. Now, I would love to take you through my strategy, but there's just not enough time in this video. If you do want to learn more about it, just send me an email at support@jonnybradley.com and we'll see if we can sort something out for you.
What has worked at Amazon is focusing on the customer. Putting the customer first, which is easy to say, but difficult to do.
If you've tried to sell on Amazon, you've most likely got very frustrated with doing product research. Endless hours scrolling through the results, looking at what the gurus have tried to teach you. We've all heard it, high sales, low competition, but what if I told you that that's actually not how it works? What if I told you that focusing on the metrics is actually slowing you down? Because the chances are following that method will probably find you some products, but so many other people are looking for exactly the same products. Think of these metrics like the tip of the iceberg. They give you an indication of where to look, but what you really want to be doing is looking below the waterline. I use something called the complete solution. So let me talk about it right now. So when I worked at Apple, I actually learned about the complete solution then, or a version of it. Basically, all this meant is that you ask the customer questions to understand their needs as fully as you possibly can, and then present them with a complete solution that they can take home today. And that doesn't mean just Apple products, it means a complete solution that's going to solve their problems to the highest of your ability. And the ultimate goal of this is to have really happy customers so that they feel that you've gone over and above to really make sure that they're looked after and they have exactly what they want for the reasons that they want it. So when I started selling on Amazon, I followed the strategies that everyone else was using. The problem is that I felt that just focusing on the numbers meant that customers' needs weren't being fully met. Ultimately, the better you can serve your customers, the less you have to worry about competition. I'm not sure if you've ever seen that picture of the two swimmers. The person in second place is focusing on the person that's first, and the person that's first is focusing on winning. And just like this, we need to care about our customers, not about our competition. And it's not just about caring about them, it's about truly understanding their needs and wants so that you can present them with a complete solution that is going to work for them. To do this, you have to engage your super fast subconscious brain. You might be thinking, what the hell is that? Have you ever been doing the dishes in the shower or washing up, doing something quite mundane, and you got an idea that came to you? Something that maybe has been bothering you for a while, or some solution that you've been trying to work on, and it just came to you when you weren't even thinking about it. This is your subconscious brain that's been working on that issue in the background, and it's presented it to your conscious brain after it's come up with a solution. So what we want to do is train our brains to be able to do this when we're looking at products. So there's a really simple exercise you can do to train your brain to work on this problem literally while you're sleeping. All you need to do is get a piece of paper or something to take notes on. Think about your customer, think about their needs, and write down all of the customer needs. I call these potential customer needs. Come up with a list of 10 to 20 and then take a half an hour break or an hour break or come back to it the next day. When you come back to it, write down 20 more. And then go back to it again and write down 20 more. And do it until you have 50 to 100 different potential customer needs. Some of these can be very, very small, some of them can be massive. But what happens is you start getting your subconscious brain working on the issue, working on the problem, when you're not actually working on the problem. So when you come back to the piece of paper, you start coming up with more ideas and really pushing your brain to come up with better ideas. And what happens is when you look back at the list, most of it is going to be rubbish. 95% of it is going to be utter rubbish, but there's going to be 5% which is pure gold and things you didn't even consider when first thinking about the customer. Once you've done this, you do exactly the same thing for potential customer solutions. These are potential solutions that solve those 5% of the most important needs. For example, when I was creating my hydrofuel brand, one of the needs was people don't like the taste of water. It's not a massive need, but it is a need. So the potential solution to that was give people some fruit infused water recipes that are still healthy, they're not going to rot their teeth, but you're able to infuse the water that's in the bottle with the little infusing cap with fruit to make it taste better for those people that don't like the taste of tap water. And when you're coming up with potential customer solutions, think about these 4 areas: physical products, digital products, services, and community. Once you combine all of these things together, you understand the customer, you truly understand them, you create a solution that really solves their needs in a variety of ways, you're able to do something that 99% of Amazon sellers don't do. And once you do this, it's far easier to stand out, especially in competitive markets. Because let's be honest, most people that launch on Amazon are lazy. They don't put effort into their images, they don't put effort into their advertising, and they don't put effort into their product research. So once you do these 3 things, you're much more likely to succeed, and not even succeed, be very successful with it. So I have an extremely important gift to give you right now. And this is something I'm really excited to do actually. Product research is of course one of the most important things. Nothing happens without product research. So I want to give you my product research training 100% for free. And this product research training has led to so much success in the Seller Pro Academy. This training is taken directly out of my full training program. It's certified by the CPD, so it's not some PDF or really rubbish training material. It's the highest quality training I've ever created, and it comes directly from my full academy. And it's going to give you all the latest techniques to find products to sell on Amazon today. So look, there's something I want you to do before you claim free access to this training. It's very, very simple and it's free for you to do. All you need to do is subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and leave a comment with what you thought of this video. Ultimately, it's only 10 seconds of your day and it massively helps me out because it tells YouTube, hey, this is a good video, this is a good channel, go and show it to other people. And I really want as many people to find this video as possible to claim the free access to the training and help as many people as I possibly can. So if you're watching this video and you still haven't done it, please go and do it right now. Once you've done that, it's really simple. Go into the description, click the first link, it'll take you to a page, it will say enroll for free, and that's it, that's all you have to do. There's no strings attached. You don't even have to subscribe and like the video, but I'd really like it if you did. And if you do love what you see, you start going through the training and you want to find out more about what we do, you can book a free strategy call and the information for that is within the training program itself. So you can jump on a call with my team, we can find out the situation you're in, where you want to be, and then we can try and help you get to that place. So that's it for today, everybody. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure you are subscribed with those notifications turned on, and remember, you're just one product away. Bye-bye. When Steven Spielberg reached out to me and said, Jonny, you know, we're gonna have to do a video about this, I was like, Steve, I'm quite busy, but obviously I decided to work with him and create this video, so, you know, I really hope you enjoyed it.